Well then, welcome back. One moment, let me just accursed mobile phone. There we go. Welcome back. Let's not waste any more time and jump right back in. It is still blasting with heat straight from the Malieri over where I am located, but that shouldn't stop us from our path. Well, hopefully. I mean, the blood should be ours, since we did go to Fort 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸, as far as I'm aware at least, but I don't know. Seems something or other went wrong and it's missing, or it's hidden somewhere here. That seems unlikely. Anyways, let's continue. Now, what did we have here? Well, yes, there's not many vials left, I fear. So we'll have to get very lucky on our expeditions to either Mia or Port Moon. Also, what do we have here? The manner in which the alchemist was spared, a quasi-alchemical text in Vak. Oh, this will probably give us, at long last, some pinnacle forge lore. The focus of Amber, the penance work of Omar the Blaze. Medusa's lament, on the death of the hour called Seven Coils, the father of the mother. Oh, and I also very recently finished a priest victory, which was, I will admit, less finicky, less frustrating than I had initially feared. Though at the same time, it did leave me, shall we say, more confused than most endings. It's, I would say that it is, even by the standards of Cultist Simulator, pretty ambiguous what happens there. Yeah, I mean, one of the books you can read, I think one of the very early on ones from the very beginning is written also by another GHOUL. But we already read that one, I'm pretty sure, in this playthrough, so... Well, what can we work on? We can work on commissions. Sure. What are we currently exploring? Cemeteries. Ah, I see. I mean, we have one aspect of the graveyard mouth. But sure, we might as well slake it right now. Though not yet, we should wait until this is almost done, because corpses are pretty, well, perishable. Now, let's see. We can also... No, we can't launch the expedition yet. We first need to... Now. Send out... who do we send out? The 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐸 here to procure us some morsel to feast on. Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered, that you're kind of a gate to the Mansus for your congregation. But, I mean, does that mean your entire congregation ascends to Longhood? probably not, because that would be pretty significant. And at the same time, it also implies that in the 5th history specifically, you become a hooded prince, which I guess I would have to know more about them to know fully the implications of that. Right, stealthy excavations by the soft light of a hooded lantern. Now let's also speak with the Maiden Mirror. Although, alright, the Worm Museum, a vagabond's map. Size in the Mansus is negotiable, and so last night in the Worm Museum I saw one of the worms who took Vienna, caged next to a worm taken from the soul of a child. In dreams they are more visible than waking, smooth and dark as jewels. The walls bear stories of the First and Second Worm Wars. The third is too recent to have passed into the histories. Another vagabond's map, that's quite useful. Well, I mean, in the literal sense, it is already perished, of course, but I would say it's still very perishable, fresh produce, so to speak. Alright, we'll need to feast twice. The hunger that grows in dark earth, the taste, the particular taste, the taste which is neither fair nor foul, it comes to trouble my mouth again. My tongue will swell, my lips will blacken. The elixir has set its spores within me, and only dead flesh can quell them. And we have translated this. In 1782, Anaël Verdier used this as the basis for presentation to the Academy of Sciences in Paris. He was executed in secret the following morning without trial. Ah, it's probably French then, so Anaël Verdier. Verdier. Anaël Verdier. Probably. The shovel strikes wood. That's a good sign. If the coffin is too far rotted, usually the remains are scant. Well, if it's too rotten and too decayed, then there's not that much to feast upon anymore. But other than that, I would probably agree. Could we dismiss the Caligyne here? First let's hand in this, and then... Now, one thing I want to check. Feast of the Honeyed Dove. I can consume remnants to preserve a little of their knowledge from dust. I may yet have to. So, we put this here, and... Let's see. Is anything else? Okay, yeah. So these are the only two options right now. Feast upon a remnant. Once again my appetite rises, flecked once again with shivers of revulsion. I think the Bureau, a lot of it is that they just don't want others to have access, since their motto, I don't remember what their motto was. The original is in Greek, but... not in Greek, in Latin, but the translation was, for basically translates to some it is permitted, or to us it is permitted, but to you it is not. So, yeah, basically their deal is, we are allowed to do this, but you, adept, are not allowed to engage in these arts. But, yeah, I think at the same time it is also a lot a lot of it is at the same time still that it is very dangerous because, you know, to achieve ascension, which is the thing most adepts are after, you are going to have to commit some very heinous and very illegal actions. You got a permit for that? Now, what can we work? Let's leave it empty for now. I think the next thing we'll do is send an expedition to Mia here. There was a city here. We can pick over its remains like jackals over old bones, palace walls, buried roads, shattered fountains. Sometimes we may find the knowledge of the dead, and sometimes the dead may find us. I mean, if I didn't know any better, that kind of sounds like there's some remnant to be found here as well. But since I'm pretty sure the only thing we're missing is the blood of Saint Januarius, probably not. Yeah, that's always an option. Yes, if we summon enough maids, we maybe can set up a cafe of some sorts. Speaking of which, I recently came to a... Maybe I can blame the fever-like heat here on this epiphany I recently came upon, but I recently had a soul-crushing realization, which is, in this game, the way you get new followers is, you know, to speak of esoteric matters and to follow peculiar rumors, right? And the follower you get is always randomly determined. So it's random which character you pull as a new acquaintance. Which means, in the most technical sense of the word, Cultist Simulator is a gacha game. And I still don't know how to process that information. I mean, sure there's no, like, payment involved, but, I mean, there are plenty of games considered gacha games where that isn't a factor either, so... And of course, the suite of characters is highly limited, but if we really want to be technical about it, there's sometimes something left over which must be buried again, but one can be efficient. Something menacing. The great mercy of dreams is that they do not often intrude into waking life. Oh, and we should also get some more snacks, with the maid here. And yeah, we'll have to wait a bit until this becomes available again. An unresolved ambiguity. Last night I opened the peacock door, and beyond it in the bright spaces of the house I met a pilgrim adept. "I'm almost ready," they said, "to pass the summit to the house, to prepare for the final ascent. Perhaps you'll join me. I will need allies to fight for my place. Here is a story to help you rise." I mean, maids in the mirror I think serve the sun in rags, don't they? Which I find strange, because from their look I would have assumed they were in the service of the 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐸, since the 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 basically looks like a maid in mirror, except she has a literal mirror face. But no, it seems that they're in the service of the sun in rags. Something menacing. Yeah, if we speak to this with Miss Nenya, I think we just get an influence, so I'll make some money off it instead. This will be stark. I might not enjoy it. So that may give me dread, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, let's find out. Okay, so Wait. Ah, I got... Well, that's one corpse too many, I think, but... Well, that's not really an issue. The shovel strikes wood. That's a good sign. If the coffin is too far rotted, usually the remains are scant. I mean, I guess that's a point that the characters are technically identical. Yeah, I can see that point. Though, at the same time, you are oftentimes hoping for a specific type of character, and sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. So, let's embark on this expedition while these two still remain among us. Mia. I'll probably need... I don't know what I'll need. But we'll find out as soon as the expedition is underway. The city, Mia, has long been sunk in the desert. Only ghosts walk its streets. Anything left there will be well hidden. And the vagabond's curse hangs over it all. Her revenge on the place that wronged her so. Expeditions need at least one funds per obstacle. Our followers, right. Ah. Her revenge on the place that wronged her so. I don't know the story of that, but maybe if we'll explore, we'll find out. My client is aghast, but also agog. Some people will pay for this. Some people will pay for anything. Yes, this did in fact give us dread, but one dread isn't really that much of a problem. Get a commission from Poppy Lachelle. Lachelle? Lachelle, I think. I am, Poppy says with a girlish giggle, curious about, oh, you know, the arts of blood and ice. It's silly, but allow an old woman her wills, her whims. Will you help me? Something unexpected. Every life has its impossible corners. This, I think, we will in fact speak about too with Miss Nenya, because that will give us a random item. And even though we don't need to, let's get rid of this final core. No, wait. Damn it. Because one thing I actually did wonder, because I think curse them only to drink dust and only be remembered by the wind. Interesting. I wonder if there's some writing about what exactly they did to incur her wrath, because I mean, the Lone and Level Sands, some kind of writing did say that the Lone and Level Sands are where the vagabond was born, since she's a god from flesh. So maybe that was her hometown. Who knows? But yeah, the reason I'm it's a shame that I now began the feast is because I did look it up, or not look it up, I tested it in another playthrough where I didn't, during my playthrough privately. The Risen, Shattered Risen, and I forgot what the other one is called. They also have the Remnant tag. Yeah, I mean, she is, after all, a vagabond, traveling. But yeah, so the Shattered Risen and Burgeoning Risen, that was the name. They, at least the Burgeoning Risen, I didn't check Shattered Risen, but it's safe to say, if one has the Remnant tag, probably both have it, which means we should be able to eat them. I don't know if that probably doesn't give us anything new, but it would still be funny. Meals on wheels, so to speak. Alright. Okay, we've become sick. Right, we already have one decrepitude, but that is, after all, by design. Something unexpected. Miss Nina's expression is difficult to read today. I've become conscious of her eyes, her mouth, the lines of her face as separate objects, conjunct only by chance, like the contents of someone's pockets emptied onto a table. Okay, no Season of Dread upcoming, that's good. That'll give us some time to deal with this. We should... I mean, we could just paint this restlessness away. I think that's the easiest thing. Maybe it'll also give us some contentment against this dread. Alright, so what do we have? Desolation. We will get through there with Forge and GHOUL. An immense and tawny surface barely contained by its horizons. At night, a chilly wilderness of stars. We must go carefully, with Forge to shape our way, or GHOUL to secure us against thirst. So we'll add another Forge follower, and that should be enough. Then we have a hidden door. Hidden doors can be found with lantern or knock. So yeah, we'll have to add some of that. Lantern or knock. Lantern probably, we have more followers of that. The potion? Oh, you mean the, elixir? Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of the corpse because I accidentally disinterred one too many, but then only after pressing start I realized, oh wait, I could reanimate it and then eat it, which would be funnier, but well. There's sometimes something left over which must be buried again, but one can be efficient, something profitable. Very good. Oh, it's basically to unlock memories. That's how basically you do this at the very start of the GHOUL legacy, medium legacy that is. Like right at the beginning you get this, and basically to progress further you need to partake in your first feast, and once that threshold is passed, you have to keep feasting. Perfect frost. Last night I visited the Worm Museum, which is both within the Mansis for security and without for safety. The Hours have charged the Colonel with its defense, and even the Linesmith does not challenge him here. Winter is the chiefest aspect of this place. The worms thrive where things end, but they can also be ended, and they must, if the Mansis is to endure. This morning, the chilly certainty of the Colonel's hand still lies on my shoulder. The world is still as ice. Each movement is a journey, a 15th order influence. This might be the personal attention of an hour. This can be used in some rites to summon minions. If unused, it will become dread. Well, we could certainly use it. I think, yeah, for our next visits we should stay clear of the Worm Museum, because we already have enough dread as is. Miss Nina says nothing, but there in the gallery I snatch my pen from my pocket and I write frenziedly, as if I had been given directions by someone whispering in my ear. When I follow the directions, I will find something precious. Some vital pigment. I certainly won't say no to that. Do we have any use for this restlessness? No, not really. Oh wait, no. For some reason our GHOUL followers are still believers instead of disciples, so let's get to fixing that with the dread and the wolf word. Promote a believer by invoking winter. My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. Miss Nenya is a painting of a dark-skinned woman with snow-colored eyes and close-cropped ivory-colored hair. She stands before a small marble tomb overgrown with star jasmine. The painting is signed Jonas B. Munch, 1811. So yeah, Miss Nenya is a painting, not actually a person. Well, maybe she was once, but judging by the timestamp of the painting, if this is a portrait of a real person, it's most likely past tense now. Yeah, the worms opposing the worms is probably the one thing all of the hours agree on. The one singular thing. Okay, so now, let's finally read this this book, The Manner in Which the Alchemist Was Spared, which didn't bring 𝐦𝐚𝐬𝐧 any fortune, but maybe it will us. In the days of the Carapace Cross, when humanity lived in the dark and ate on its knees, humans could enter the manses like vermin. One learned the arts of flint, the arts of shaping and remaking. Ah, okay. So yeah, so in this story, here it's different from, for example, Prometheus in Greek mythology, where fire was gifted. Instead, humanity crawled like vermin into the manses and stole the secret of fire. Yeah, they devour pretty much everything, especially souls. The Sun-Scourged wrote, our forged skills should keep us safe and lead us through the baking rocks to the green places. We'll almost certainly be fine. I think we should start adding... Yes, we should start adding lantern followers now, and after that, heart followers. This expedition will need quite a bit of hands on deck. Alright, an affliction. Disease has left me weak. I need rest and nourishment if I am to recover. Okay, no contentment, but I mean, we could use this use up this restlessness as well. Oh, a new adversary. Whatever happened to our previous one? Oh, right, of course, Spencer Hobson, the absolute mad lad. We finally got rid of him by feeding him worms. The sun in splendor. The sun is setting. We look back across the desolation we crossed, and at all the colors it assumes in the evening light. Night falls, the stars prickle. Exactly. Spencer Hobson has been, what was it? A detective, a journalist, and rather briefly a priest, and also an absolutely unstoppable force of nature, which gave 𝐸𝐚𝐬 severe nightmares. Alright, Saliba. Saliba's pleasures are taken in a room without windows. His companions return to him again and again, even though each time they are a little less. And speaking of Rhaenyra as well, Rhaenyra continues to pursue her appetites discreetly, although her ambitions have grown. Actually, yeah, let's just use this bitter atmosphere. Yeah. Like, the deadliest thing we could find. It's also weird that despite basically exploring every single vault in the game, we never found any other poison except for these worms. It's kind of odd. Right, through the black, the yellow, the red, the unwise mortal ascended to the shadow of the egg unhatching and remained in his service. He may be there to this day. Mysteries of making. The forge of days, the meniscate, and the madrugad are gods from light. Mercury, silver, and gold are the seeds of the work, and here is their secret doctrine. Use this in a rite with a consecrated lintel and a little refulgin, or other resources of equal power, to summon King Crucible. Or not, in our case, since, yeah. We have consumed the traces that Crucible left in the world. At the very least, he will be offended. He might be enraged. We should not summon him again. So now we can put this up here. And now we have the full collection. Yes. If I recall correctly, the text on eating on his remnants had mentioned to keep water nearby to drink in case we spontaneously catch fire while eating. She's like, yep, that's King Crucible, alright. Alright, let's translate this. The penance work of Omar the Blaze. Now, who do we have here? Dr. Natalia Dragon. She was laughed out of academia for her analyses of alternate histories, and it only made her more resolute. Now she works with the Suppression Bureau. Indeed she does, but maybe she doesn't have to. Maybe we can alter her career trajectory just a tiny bit. The expedition continues. We'll add one more lantern follower. And after that, we'll start piling in the heart followers. Yes. Time passes. I mean, we could do that, but I think what I would much rather do is speak to her about a little something and see if she can't be convinced to, you know, reconsider her career options. I don't... Ah, yeah, she is. Meticulous and idealist, so we can't use the wolf word on her. But we also have the illuminate mysteries. We call upon the ivory dove, who knows the names of all the dead. Oh yeah, I should probably also... get ready to... panic enter the spider's door if the curse should cling against all odds. Promote a believer by invoking winter. Now you shed your blood as the sun's blood was shed. Now your past is divided from your future as the wolf was divided. You are not born. Your service ends only in dissolution. Arise in silence. Rhaenyra commands admiration wherever she goes. She reserves her attentions for those who merit admiration in return. I mean, instead of Clavette, we could also send our Grail, yeah, Heart or Grail. So, yeah, let's send our Grail followers instead, since we don't really need them otherwise. And yeah, let's, now first, a new commission from Dr. Ibn al-Adin, called the Alpine, who has an interest in overlooked history. Is there a season of visions coming up? No, there isn't. Good. And after that, let's have a chat with Dr. Natalie Dragon. The focus of Amber, Omar the Blaze, spent 7 years manning a lighthouse in Tyre in atonement for the extinguishing of a sacred flame. By the end of his stint, he was so terrified of fire that he could not look or he could not stand to share a room with a candle. This work was written in partial penance. I've seen The Lighthouse. Good movie. Omar claims that the hour called Watchman is both a god who was flesh, an hour who was mortal, and also a god from light, an hour who descended from the glory, but adds, finally, that the Watchman's origin is triple, and that, in essence, he is Amber. Yeah, alright, it's so sad Spencer Hobson died of Ligma. Who the hell is Spencer Hobson? But, no, actually, we can't use the wolf word since she is an idealist. So instead we'll use the Illuminate Mysteries. Arrange a meeting with an adversary. Perhaps we could parley, or perhaps I could send something to ambush them. No, we will parley in a sense. This is the secret doctrine of the door in the eye. Open your ears. This is likely to tempt the hunter from their path, but will always increase our own fascination. The Meniscate, the Madrugad, the Flower Maker, and the Forge of Days are the gods from light. There is a fifth. But now we know it is not the Watchman, yet the Watchman shares a secret doctrine with those five, and here is that doctrine. Use this in a rite. With a subtle eruption, a paradoxical curio, and someone will come. Speak it to a hunter, and it might drive them insane on the spot. Triple origin... I think because, both a god who was flesh, a god from light, and also hatched from the egg, which is what it alludes to with, in essence, he is Amber. So, it's kind of like the Watchman is... In a sense, it is the Amber, and in a sense, it is an offspring of the Amber, and in a sense, it grew inside of the, not the Amber, the egg on hatching, which I think was also called the Amber, so there's where that came from. Is the next season one of Visions? No, it is not, so okay. The wary dead. The dead draw back, their almost faces flat and watchful. They will not trouble us. Okay, now let's see what we can work on. This. Another commission. Another day, another dollar. Okay, now we have a fleeting reminiscence. Yeah, it is both descending from the glory, ascending from mortality, and hatching from the egg. That's the triple origin. Now, I don't exactly know how that works, but I think there is actually, for once, some elaboration on that in one of the other texts, but I don't remember which one. The Watchman, according to Osmar, was once another hour entirely, who ascended into the glory to escape efforts by other hours to send him to nowhere. It may be that Omar's sense of persecution creeps into the narrative at this point. Certainly it grows less coherent, and the last part is devoted to attempts to prove that eyes, eggs, and the sun are all in some sense conjunct. Yeah, it's... less so Athena, since I think that That's mostly referenced in the wheel growing from the thigh, the moth growing from the thigh of the wheel. But yeah, more so it's that the egg unhatching fled into the glory from the other hours during the litomancy. And I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow a mortal then fused with it. I'm not entirely sure, and they became, and then they descended back from the glory, becoming the Watchmen. But we get a mantra of ascent from that. The ascent of knives is the bloodiest of the Watchmen's tests. Those who pass it and are dead enter the service of the sun in rags. Those living who pass it are a little closer to the glory. I didn't know the Ascent of Knives was created by the Watchmen. Alright, not the Worm Museum this time. Let's check the Red Church. Ah, damn it. Last night I visited the Red Church, where the GHOUL conducts its feasts. The light through the stained glass windows was all the spectra of red, and the names of the GHOUL labored to birth a new desire which had until today no name at all. I'm sticky with the memory of it, and this morning everything I see is tinted ruby. Fascination. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. The higher I rise, the more I see. Yeah, we should, yeah, we have a lot of fascination built up. We should deal with some of that. Oh, whoop. Composure. The doors of vision swing wide. Little darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses, and so do fleeting reminiscences. Visions of glory. Yes, I could be something finer, but what we are is less important than what we do. The world is where we live, and I will defend it till I die. You can keep your visions. This hunter has become grim and tenacious. God damn it. Okay, so... And she is doubly idealist now, somehow. I don't know how that works, but sure. Okay. And we get more fascination. And yeah, this now means that, unfortunately, the good doctor has to go. We call upon the Watchman who illuminates. Right, we should take this opportunity to add another GHOUL follower also for the next challenge. Yeah, though who to carry out the deed, that's the question. Right, that's for the doctor. Now, okay, the next season isn't one of dread, so I could risk another visit to the Worm Museum. I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't send a pawn after her. She's most likely going to survive that. I mean, we could always summon another maid in the mirror. But I think we'll use the one we already have once it's finished with the expedition instead. Right, there's our payment. Let's write another treatise on edge. Notice of the eight lore principles, ignoring, or I guess with the 9 lore principles with secret histories included, only 3 of them are passion-based, and the other 6 are all reason-based. Which I think is, I don't know, kind of interesting. A way through the hidden door. Okay, so ideally all we'll need now is a single bit of funds, and that should be that. I mean, the last obstacle is a curse, so we'll bypass it anyways, but if we're very unlucky, it might cling. So I'm going to prepare myself to go into the spider's door en masse as soon as I should have confirmation of that. This thing here, that's a closely watched cemetery. The authorities have noticed peculiar activity in this place. They've set a watch upon it. Visits will take longer, and very soon they will no longer be possible at all. It's basically what the regular cemetery decays into, which I don't really understand, because at that point you can always just find a new cemetery, since there's no limit on how many cemeteries you can find, and it only takes, like, what, 30 seconds? Less? So, I don't know, maybe initially the amount of cemeteries you could find at once or so were limited. But right now it doesn't make too much sense. Oh well, there are worse things. Let's translate this. Medusa's lament. On the death of the hour called 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐿, the father of the mother. Yeah, that's kind of... I don't know exactly, but basically the way I choose to interpret it is that, you know, after a certain amount of time passes, after the first time you visited, the bureau takes note. So it takes them a while to respond, but eventually they just start watching it, regardless of how many times you were there. But yet, theoretically, you could just visit a cemetery to discover it, then never do anything illegal there, and it would still be closely watched, even though you didn't actually do anything there. But, well. Alright, we call upon the Red Grail, which gives life. Now, we have to pray. To the Red Grail, specifically, but also in general. The curse shrivels. Okay. We've been very lucky with the curses in this run, because we've come across a lot of them, and thus far not one of them has clung, which I am very glad about. Alright, an affliction, we should take care of that at the earliest opportunity. Medusa's lament. Right, the 7 coils, that should be interesting. The first part of the poem describes the ambush of the 7 coils by warriors scarred all over by the traitor gods, scarred even unto his eyes, so that the sight of the great coils would not destroy him. One thing, how many hours were there during the lithomancy? Because, you know, they're at the current time, there's a lot more other hours than there were gods from stone, which makes me wonder, did they only come later? I mean, I know some of them only came later, like the Lionsmith and probably the Vagabond, but did the others also exist before then and just weren't part of the lithomancy? I don't know exactly. Yeah, as we said previously, whoever's watching these graveyards has my sympathies. Though that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. Treasures lie before us, at last. Another histories commission from the Doctor. I mean, theoretically we have the time to fulfill one more commission before this is done. So let's do it. But for now, I'm not gonna speak about anything. Okay, I think first things first, I'm going to send the... what's it? The 𝐸𝐚𝐥𝐞 after the evidence. And then I'm going to send the maid after the doctor. Well, the Worm Wars had to have come afterwards since they bred in the corpse of the sun, and the intercalcate was, I don't know if long, but definitely after the lithomancy. So first the lithomancy at the dawn of time, basically, then the intercalate, the division of the sun, and then after that, after the worms started breeding in the corpse of the sun, then we get the Worm Wars. The city no more. The wind of Mia is a pettish wind. It tugs at our garments like a needy child. It tosses sand in our faces. It shines among the dust-choked stones. The desolation of the city is not quite absolute. There are pillars, arches, sand-blinded statues, steps to nowhere. Nowhere in this case not capitalized because, you know, that would be wild. Alright, Worm Museum. Perfect frost again. We could use that to summon another maid. That, I think, is actually, like, the best thing to do with it. The battle rages on until the seven coils drowns in its own blood, at which point the narrative turns mystical and elusive. A seven-titled goddess arises from the foam of its blood. She's an armored queen, a serpent daughter, a key, a healer, a murderess, an oracle, but her seventh title is not to be revealed. The Mother of Ants, of course. A formulae Ophidian. Serpents are the visitors which may not be denied. Okay. We have dread, but we don't have any fascination anymore. I remember the crime of the sky was because the gods from stone were, so we could assume the ending of the horned axe can possibly... Ending the horned axe can possibly end that problem. From what I heard, it wasn't... Maybe it was the gods from stone, but I think it's the hours generally that uphold that law, because they don't want their names to reproduce naturally. So I don't think it's just the gods from stone which are responsible for that. I think it's all of the hours. Or at least all of them agree with it. City no more. We find relics in an abandoned chamber which might equally have been a cellar or a shrine. The walls are cracked and sand has poured through. When we return to the surface, the wind is rising. It almost tugs us from our feet. Perhaps it missed us. Okay, we have more hemolymph, funnily enough, but no blood. I still wonder whatever happened to whatever happened to our original vial, because we should have gotten one from what was it? Fort Garrick? I'm not sure, but one of the Evening Isles vaults, and, you know, we seem to have explored all of those. We're only getting Port Noon now. But for some reason, for whatever unlikely reason, it seems that we seem to have not gotten it, or it became lost somehow, though I don't really know how that would happen. Alright, let's get a new maid to replace this one, because it's about to retire. Yeah, Port Noon and Mia both have it as a possible drop. Send a devious minion to destroy evidence. Right, here we could also study something, but I mean, well, unfortunately, we don't really have anything worth studying. With the exception of, I guess, with the exception of, I am doing good aside from this dreadful heat. Thank you for asking, but yeah. I had initially, I think, planned to stream yesterday, but because of the heat, I had totally forgotten about that. And then I only remembered when I saw Earl of Rats in another streamer's chat, who was playing Cultist Simulator, and I was like, wait, hold on, didn't I want to stream today? Oh, well. But anyways, better late than never, I suppose. Total lack of interest, that's fine, I think. We can live with that. We could translate some of these books, but they're basically worthless, so I don't really see a reason to. We await word. Okay, a new maid. Very nice. And I mean... yeah, exactly. It was just the heat, got to me. Okay, so now I think we'll go to this, which I think is the last unique vault we have to explore. The remote and rotting chateau of the Comte de Ravelin was looted long ago. We have found hints that it was not looted thoroughly enough. There may be a secret room. Equally, there may be a curse. Ooh, okay. Chateau Ravelin. The favorite stories of the Comte de Ravelin claim they descend from the first Sun King. Other stories have them prowling the forest in wolf shape. They are long gone. Their rotting chateau remains. Not all its malignities have been uncovered. Okay, so a curse probably means we need heart. Yeah, I'm trying to at least. I do have my flask here. Speaking of which, oh god. Sweat-slickened hands and metal lid do not go well together. Ah, there we go. Much better. Now, let's hope our Caligain in here can take care of the evidence. No, it is dead. Okay, let's get another one then. What would we need for that? I think forge and lantern? Something like that. No, not lantern. Forge and winter, okay. Yeah, we can certainly do that. So, sunset right, icy atmosphere, a need here, and a decent helping of forge. And now let's try and take care of the good doctor. Alright, we have a hidden door and a dry soul curse. Okay, so we just need lantern. Meaning our maiden mirror was very much useless on this expedition, but well, no matter. Yes, I would hate to be a dog about now. I wonder how, like, insects experience heat. A moth, like, do they feel heat? Can they regulate their temperature? I don't actually know. but they're very small, so they don't have much volume in relation to their surface that could store a lot of heat, so they probably don't have that big of an issue with heat. Anyways, I dreamt last night of the Worm Museum. The hours have said words about it and warnings before it, but they have left it open to mortal adepts who can prove themselves by reaching it. Perhaps they hope to inspire revulsion against the things that breed in the corpse of the sun. Those things are here still, always dying, never dead. They came from nowhere, the warnings say, and if they complete their work, the Mansus will be nowhere one day. And we become, and we gain dread from that, unfortunately. Oh, that's not good. Okay, an early night then. Yeah. Though, I mean, I suppose they are probably affected by heat to some extent, but probably they feel it much less than we do. And only, you know, if it gets really hot, they... Or maybe they don't have any, like, nerves to detect that at all, though I doubt it. They probably can sense heat. I mean, yeah, they probably do because insects usually seek out heat. I mean, moths obviously often go inside because of the light, but a lot of insects also... insects and other arthropods also go inside human homes, not because of the light, but because of the heat. Yeah, maybe. I mean, animals usually... Smaller animals are usually good at dealing with heat. Big animals are good with dealing with cold. Which is, you know, why Arctic gigantism is a thing. Not all the Forge's children are bright. If its offcuts and its bastards gather in the bounds like hammer scale in the cracks of a smithy floor. Here comes one now. Oh, that's not very polite. 𝐤𝐚𝐥𝐿. At the corners of the forge, in the bounds of the Mansus, the glory's fire meets baser elements. Here is a cunning vapor to infect your enemy's dreams. Right, this thing will have another go at the evidence, which may survive the doctor, maybe it won't. Away through the hidden door. Okay, that's that taken care of. But no one could have survived that! Now and then, tenacious hunters somehow survive attacks that should have killed them, but their luck always runs out in the end. And there are other ways to destroy a hunter besides physical assault. Alright, so she survived once, but we still have the maid. We'll send the 𝐤𝐿𝐴 to take care of the evidence next. Slag relationship to the smith. I don't think I currently understand what you're talking about, but maybe it'll occur to me later. In the meantime, though, let's work on another commission. Okay, I have to remember to switch this out with the evidence before it hits 0. Ah, good, contentment. That's at least something. So we're not as much trouble. Oh. Well, that's nice. Another contentment, and way through a hidden door. Okay, next up is the curse, so now we have to be careful. Okay, just as this is about to run out, we switch it out with the evidence. Yeah, that is true. I should probably learn to pace myself a little, but well, I never was very good at that. Yeah, I do if from what I've gathered, you were talking about the summoning text for the 𝐤𝐿𝐴, though I can indeed no longer remember it properly. So, well, I wonder if there's a way to lower the delay. The chat itself is actually not delayed at all. It's basically pretty much instantaneous, but the feed is. I don't know, maybe I'm on the wrong server. I should probably look into that. My minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I'm a little safer. Okay, since the evidence is now gone, let's send the maid in the mirror again after the doctor. And let's send the 𝐸𝐴 in here. Yes, that's good. Okay, more contentment, so we can use this contentment to get rid of one of these dreads. There we go. No, it's also on my end. There's a quite noticeable delay, and I think a delay longer than with some other streamers I've observed. At least I think so. Maybe it is like almost 4 seconds, which not that long in the grand scheme of things, but it can be it can make a difference sometimes, right? Okay, despair abates, and then despair should abate again. Yes, wonderful. The curse shrivels. Nice. Okay. We're lucky again. And now, what can we work on? That's not really that much. We could paint, I suppose, though not really that much of a point to it. And the only thing we really have to do at this point is find that, gosh darned, blood. The blood. Yep, the internet is indeed marvelous. Especially, like, network technology definitely isn't one of my strong suits when it comes to IT, but in some of those courses I had, just hearing about like the technology that went into like solving certain problems and creating the internet we now have today is genuinely like awe-inspiring, I think, because you think, oh my god, like so many problems, and sometimes like the way they're solved is so clever. Yeah, and it's both the things it can do, and also just if you learn about how it was made or how it works, it's so complex, the like technology and mathematics and encoding and everything that goes into it. You really get like the sense that this is like one of the projects of humanity. Like the intellect and ingenuity, creativity and know-how of hundreds of people going into this, hundreds of thousands, millions, generations building upon the knowledge of their forerunners. Yeah, it has also, very much in the same sense, also had like a profound impact on humanity. Though, if that impact has always been positive, well, that's... I think we can all agree that's certainly up for debate. Much debate. Ah! My minion has returned, with a prisoner. Dr. Natalia Dragon captured. She was laughed out of academia for her analyses of alternate histories, and it only made her more resolute. Let's be sure she dies in captivity. Well, you could have joined us, but no, you decided to reject the glory and all. It's a shame. We could have done great things together. Childhood's end. Behind a rotting tapestry of wolves hunting men, a paneled wall. in the paneled wall, a secret door. The spring is long gone, of course. We had to smash it in with hammers. Exactly. I mean, theoretically, captured hunters can also be used for some rites because they have a lot of principal aspects. So, you know, there are certain, what was it? Yeah, exactly. Certain rites that use human sacrifices. They're also quite useful for that, but I rarely ever do those rites because, I mean, you can just as easily sacrifice a coin or dread. I never actually I never actually tested what happens if the timer runs out. One thing that I think is possible is that she actually breaks free and starts investigating you again. Or she just disappears. I'm not sure. I mean, we could test it. Sure, why not? Let's let the timer run out this time. Payment and more payment. Whew, that's quite a bit of text. The last treasures of the Comte de Ravelin lie here, in a surprisingly airy room. High skylight windows have long since broken, and the floor is lost underneath leaves and debris. But once the place was furnished as a nursery. Here is a cradle with the skeleton of a puppy. Huh. So they were like wolf-like beings. Also, since there's a skeleton of a puppy here, I'm almost certain that this is another opportunity to get the wolf skull remnant that we instead got from one of the Shire expeditions, I think. It's kind of interesting because there have been several expeditions where I'm like, oh yeah, I think this one would have given you one of the scraps we got earlier if we hadn't gotten it there, because which is clever that they've put in some contingencies there, because, you know, if you have a rival, they can of course explore one of the vaults, which robs you of the chance to explore them. So it would be very bad if this legacy required you to raid a specific vault, because then if that were the case and a rival just happens to plunder that specific vault, you would soft lock yourself without even knowing why. So I'm very glad that they planned for that. Even though I don't think, yeah, for us it wasn't really relevant, since we managed to explore all of them. Though, at the same time, I mean, it was kind of relevant in the sense that for some reason we didn't get the blood of Saint Januarius, which still confuses and kind of frustrates me, because getting it now will be very difficult, extremely RNG dependent, and yeah, we should have gotten it, but for some reason we didn't. Alright, passing the peacock door. Chilly atmosphere. Should we do anything with any of this? Yeah, these still have a fair bit of time until they decay. I should, however, do I have a believer here anywhere? We have pawns. I mean, we could always exalt those with the dread, and this should be enough, yes. Yeah, I checked by basically clicking the open slot, but then if it's somewhere here, it should have glowed. And nothing did, so yeah, it's not hidden under another card here or something. It's just, I don't know, gone somehow. Maybe I should, if we don't find it this stream, I'm going to go over the VODs and see if maybe something happened to it. Because, I mean, I don't think I ever used it in a write. I wouldn't have any reason to. It's one of the few things you can use to get rid of your decrepitude. You can drink it to restore 1 decrepitude, but I never did that, so at least not in this run, so yeah, I don't know what happened to it. Alright, and we should also, although it's not that urgent, we can wait a bit with the feasting. Two, but one of them I think we'll get by feasting on our own dying flesh. So technically 2, but practically just 1 now. Since the decrepitude we can eat whenever we like. To get the 8th one, but I want to save that for last. Yes, we have the tide. In a night blue mance's haze swims a coral palace crown. At its foredge it absorbs the lesser names, coating them with its minerals and juices. And at its rear edge it expels some of them, polished like jewels. The others go to feed its thorny tide heart. We have the 7-coiled. On a bed of dunes beneath a red low sun, a monster wrestles itself, while attendants crowd around its flanks. It is flabby and huge, the color of dirty sulfur. Fanged tentacle necks wrestle like kittens. It tears cheerfully at its own flesh, and the blood that flows is golden. It flops over in a cataclysm of wattled flesh, crushing a knot of attendants, and the others scream and cheer. We have the flint. This is only a stone, though it is smoothed and sharpened to a midnight point. But look closer, each of its facets show a single point of light. It might be the glint of firelight. It might be each a different star. We have the sun in splendor. Auroral rose vies with electric blue. There is neither night nor morning, but only the hours of noon, anticipated and lingering noon. We each of us open our hearts to the golden needle of the sky, all colors magnified beneath the sun in splendor. We have the wheel. With each turn, its ciliae pulse and wriggle as its body flushes translucent to crimson. It might be ugly, but it is beautiful, like the withdrawing of blood from the labyrinths of glass. It does not cease, and all its involutions are infinite. The wheel. The horned axe. When I remember the horned axe, I recall the scent of hawthorn. I recall a purple evening sky shot with red gold. I recall that her edges dripped where she had lately been at work. We have the moth. The wood before its darkening, its fruits poison green, its carnelian roots. The moth's eyes are merry with hunger. He is hunting. So yeah, those are the 7 we already have. Then I'm assuming the decrepitude will give us an 8th. And the final one is probably from the blood of St. Januarius, though, yeah, again, that one eludes us at this point. I know, though, there is a chance to get blood of the true blood of St. Januarius from both 𝐸𝐚𝐥𝐞 and Port Noon. So I'll just explore these until hopefully I'll get it either again or for the first time. I'm still not sure. Okay, that would be the 2nd mark of hunger. Should we do something about that right away, or could we permit that to Mia, not Mika? Yeah, I think we don't need to deal with that right away. Although, now that I think about it, I think Mia has a curse and Port Noon doesn't. So maybe it's wiser to continually visit Port Noon instead of Mia. Though that, of course, will mean that we'll have to spend a lot more effort deepening our lore. Don't know what's the best here. Yet more dread. And there's a season of dread coming up, of course, of course. A practical disciple, loyal and good with their hands. I mean, we don't really need our unremarkable disciples for anything. They're just here to get rid of the dread and then to become fuel, basically. Okay, an unresolved ambiguity, or do we risk it for a Vagabond's map? I think it's safer to just go with the unresolved ambiguity. Yeah. Though we have so many of those. Too many, one might argue. So, yeah, let's start out by converting one of those to a Vagabond's map. And once that's done... Okay, so... No, the Maid in the Mirror is also useful for Mia because there's dead there. Yeah, I think the Vagabond's names were... One of them was the Laughing Thrush, that I know. And of course the Vagabond. I don't know what other names she has. Into the night. This erudition should still be there in time. Let's use some of this notoriety to paint with the passion. Hopefully this gives us some glimmering. Ah yeah, right, the centipede, of course, how could I forget? Oh, Sight Thief? Maybe that's a name I just haven't heard yet, because... maybe she's only referred to that in like one article or something. Or maybe I just forgot or didn't notice. That's also a possibility. Okay. I mean, we need a second body. But, so we have a sturdy disciple, loyalty and muscles. Proverbial Footloose, that one I did here. The Pilgrim, maybe that one too. Footloose, I definitely heard somewhere, though I don't remember where. The others, maybe I've come across them, but haven't. I just forgot, or I haven't come across them yet. Okay, so what we have here, another unresolved ambiguity. I'm gonna chance it. Okay, Perfect Frost. Last night I visited the Worm Museum, right? We already read this, we don't need to read it again. Instead, let's put the erudition in here. Dream of Lookout Door again. Hopefully we can gain another Vagabond map. Yeah, it rings a bell, but nothing specific, so if I did hear about it, it was long ago that I've forgotten. Or it was just vague enough that it didn't really, that I didn't really save the memory, so to speak. Okay, I think this corpse is going to decay before we can use it. Also have to worry about these two. They're probably going to decay soon, which isn't great. Somehow... Seriously? No glimmering from all of that. Okay, we can always try again. This time let's try it with 3 passion. It's also... Let's paint about perfect frost. And... Okay, commission from him. Let's have these two speak with one another. Colors of night, right. If we add funds, it increases the quality of the painting, which increases the likelihood for glimmering. Dread. Okay. Do we get rid of it right now, or do we chance it? I say we get rid of it right now. You mean you have to leave, or if you do, that's no problem. I understand. Okay, this one is also going to decay before I can snack on it. Oh yeah, right, yeah, just have them speak with one another. I mean, the funny thing is, I think neither of them can speak, so they're just staring at each other, but somehow it's keeping them in the waking world just a little longer. Yeah, maybe. Okay, finally, some glimmering. So, yeah, that's all we need, aside, of course, from the illumination, but we have the rarefied mind for that. Okay, is this going to sell right away, or... Yes, okay, so now... we send one of them to the cemetery. The other one I'm going to use to summon another of their kind. Do I... No, wait, this just turns it into a lower level influence, so not really a point in doing that. Let's get a second one of these. And then once we've finished this disinterment, and... So I think first we're gonna feast a little bit, and then we're going to try if we can't eat on something we have brought back to life, because that just sounds funny. The fact that we can have the two summonings talk to one another, which prevents them from decaying. just basically the idea of them just sign languaging with one another, and the chat just being so engaging that they don't want to return to the manses just yet. That they completely forget the time. Okay. Please, 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 please. Rebellious spirit. Okay, then. Let's send it home, I guess. Okay. Kind of, a lot of these corpses we're getting aren't getting any actual use. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I also did that a lot. Though nowadays I just try to not rely on influences. I just usually, you know, use some other stuff. But yeah. Though the way I usually do it is then I try to, you know, go somewhere through the Mansus where I know I can get a 15th order influence, and then as soon as I have it, I just I just set everything up so that I can use the influence immediately as soon as I have it. But yeah, I also do that. The main thing though I am mostly cheese is the summonings. Right, I sent the one home, so now let's try to summon another one. Knock. Servant of the Sun in Rags. And let's just talk to this one regularly, since I don't want to dig up that many corpses. I can't use all of them. Vagabond's map, wonderful. Hunger that grows in the dark earth, which means I won't be able to use this one either. Oh well. Okay, at least we have 3 Vagabond's maps now, which we can then use for... No, give that back. That's mine. Nope, that's not what I want either. Okay, so this one I'm just gonna eat regularly. This one is going to decay, sadly, so I can't use it. Let me get another thingy. I tried to enter the spider door several times, but my desire always ate my prisoners. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, that's why I usually try to, like, stockpile prisoners, before I start the 3rd mark. Basically, I make sure that I already have enough prisoners on hand before I begin anything. But yeah. Okay, so now... Another... Season of Ambition, okay. Yeah, I'm getting quite hungry now. Good thing I brought some new snacks. Yeah! Those small-minded... Those small-minded spoil sports, they don't want me eating people. Alive or dead. Okay, there's the Maiden Mirror, born anew. So now let's use the Sunset Rite with 𝐸𝐴𝐬𝐸, some Dread, and what do we need? Right, Winter. And of course, right. It's kind of a bit more difficult with the 𝐸𝐴𝐬𝐸 because it actually doesn't have all of the principles. It itself doesn't have all the principles you need to summon it. So... let's first just send it out to peruse the graveyard some more. And now let's actually use this thing. Right, we need a Winter Follower. Call on the Ring-Yu to raise the corpse to half-life. First I must plant the seeds, under the eyelids, under the tongue, in all the secret openings of the body. It will awaken as a burgeoning risen. So no, let's not use her, let's instead use Maid. Call on the cartographer of scars to raise a corpse to half-life. A shattering force will infuse its flesh, so that it joins the shattered risen. I must begin the process. I will ready my hammer. Okay, so this will give us a shattered risen now than instead, but, you know, it's all the same. I think they also have the remnant tag, and if not, we're about to find out. Actually, I'm wondering right now if it might not be useful to get some more acquaintances, but at the same time, it's probably not necessary. I mean, the way I always get prisoners is I explore with a follower to get a hireling. I hire the hireling, and then I immediately betray them. That's how I get my followers. That's how I get my prisoners, because this method, while that method also generates notoriety, there's no chance at any point for anything to go wrong. Yeah, probably. If we have a hammer, then yeah, that probably means linesmith. Though, no, at the same time, I think the colonel is the one... Yeah, no, wait, call on the cartographer of scars, so yeah, it's the colonel. Because the colonel, I think, also has winter principle, unlike the linesmith, so that's why he's the one being invoked when we raise a corpse as a shattered risen. Something menacing. So we can work on that with our reputation. And then the next one, yeah, we need 2 more, so that's for 1, that's this one. Feast upon a remnant. And the last one will be the one we're currently raising. Now, if I want to summon another 𝐸𝐚𝐴, I could use the Perfect Frost, so there's not really any harm in letting this one decay. And once we're done feasting, we'll also get another Port Moon anecdote via study, which is probably going to take up our study verb for most of the time now. I think it's because of his scars, because of his like wounding. He's pretty close to death, but that's just conjecture. I don't think that's just like pure speculation on my part. Because I mean, scars obviously are also associated with knock, but I think like wounding and like being close to death, that sort of thing, does bring you closer to the ragged lore. Or maybe he isn't winter after all, so, and I just misremembered that. But I do think I did remember that correctly. Or at least I think I did. So, what else can we explore? Have we ever exhausted 𝐸𝐚𝐴's auction house? I don't actually know, but at the same time, it's not really a point in doing so, because the things we can find there are pretty low quality at best. Something menacing again? shattered risen. A rending force has dragged this corpse back to near life. When it moves, it crunches like broken glass. Its fists are claw nests of bone shards. It won't hold together for long. The corpse lurches, groaning, to its feet, or what is left of its feet. I have conjured a shattered risen. Yeah, I don't exactly know how we're going to eat that, but it will lie still if I tell it. It may even be succulent. I kinda doubt it. Yep. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. I think, yeah, I think the kernel is winter because edge converts to winter, just like the linesmith is forge because edge converts from forge. So the linesmith symbolizes the transition from forge to edge, and the kernel symbolizes the transition from edge to winter. That's, now I remember. Okay, so now let's, use these. Though maybe I shouldn't use both of them. I think they give me dread. Let's talk about the other one to Miss Nenya. Share a menacing memory with Miss Nenya. Her eyes are watchful. I think this gives us, this just gives us, thingy, an influence. But it's, I mean, maybe it's useful, who knows. Okay, once we're through the peacock door, we also have to, well, this is a lot of dread, a lot of fascination, and also some contentment that we should use. Almost. I mean, we still have to, you know, we still have to get an anecdote, so first we have to study something. An icy atmosphere. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So feasting on revenants gives us influence. Probably, in the case of a burgeoning risen, a moth influence then instead of a winter influence. Anyways, let's use this. This should give us a 𝐸𝐚𝐽. Miss Nenya says nothing. Silence pools like shadow between the gallery lamps. Man, we're getting heaps of dread now, and winter influence, which then turns into dread, you know. What's the next season? Suspicion, okay. So, it's not that big of a problem yet. But it will be. Soon enough. Okay, we have to get erudition, so commission work is in order. Otherwise, we won't be able to create those much needed important known anecdotes. Oh, more dread. Okay, maybe I should have gone to the Red Church instead. That would have probably been cleverer. Oh well. Okay, so which of these dreads is newest? This one. Always get rid of the freshest dread, because the older the dread, the bigger its chances of decaying before it becomes a problem. Also, we're about to find out what happens to a hunter once their timer runs out in captivity. The wrong kind of attention. No one this time. It's a shame we can't preserve this somehow, but oh well. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Let's hope the summoning goes well, mainly because I need the work tile. Ah, thank you. Okay, now that I've summoned it, I kind of realized that I don't really have much of a use for it. Neither the Maid in the Mirror, so... Actually, let's go on another Mia expedition. We should be fine. So long... I mean... We do have to get a little bit lucky even when the curse clings, because... Well, we'll see about that when it comes to that. Okay, next contentment, next dread. And after that we'll use the restlessness. Oh, we can also combine these two. And then combine these two. We won't really be using them, but at least this way we minimize the amount of dread that it decays into. Oh, a lot of stuff happening at once now. Okay, so first of all, the desert. We'll need Forge. I mean, theoretically we can also just send 2 GHOUL followers. Right now, both for the desert and the curse. It may actually make more sense. Oh yeah, she's gone. Well, I guess that answers that. Well, there's 2 ways to interpret this. Oh no, wait, yeah, she did actually turn fully into a human corpse. Huh. Strange. Did we not feed her, or what's the reason for here? It's like the reasoning here. I guess she did die in captivity after all. Yeah. Is there next season 1 of Ambition? No, it isn't, but let's eat this right away then. Maybe, but she was at the same time, you know, also an idealist, so... I don't think... Yeah, I think just, I don't know, probably succumbed to the conditions of captivity. Oh, Connie Lee. Connie Lee, the heiress, suffragist, and adventurer, she's recently put her quixotic enthusiasms and considerable wealth at the service of the Suppression Bureau. One thing I wonder, suffragist isn't like, because I'm pretty sure Cultist Simulator takes place 1926. Isn't that a little late for the suffragette movement historically? Because Connie also looks pretty young, and like the suffragist movement was although no, wait, actually. No. The suffragist movement was like at its peak around the 1800s, which around 1900, which is, you know, just less than 30 years from now. So yeah, timeline wise it still very much checks out. Never mind then. Right. Yeah, I don't think I want to like have to deal with her at all, so I'm just gonna... Hello, Connie. Wanna... Hi, Connie. Nice to meet you. Wanna go do occult crimes? Yeah, I know. I mean, suffragist is a more specific feminist movement, you know, for women's suffrage, so the right for women to vote. But, yeah, that's, for 1926, that's still, during that time, that would still be a relevant issue. Luckily, we have moved past that now. I hope so, at least. Alright, we call upon the sister and witch, who cannot be touched. No, who are Pearl. I always wonder, does that cut something off? Because who are Pearl seems kind of incomplete. Something tells me, at least my intuition tells me, that there's some more text here that's just cut off by the UI. The cistern witch should see us safe through the dry places. I mean, I guess if I... clarity, no. Sight, UI scaling font size. If I scale down the font size... Okay, that doesn't actually do anything, apparently. Yes, I still find it funny that, like, being attracted or romantically involved with someone of the same sex is actively a benefit in the secret, in the hidden world. Because you don't risk the crime of this guy. Also, one of the... I don't know which one it was again. I think the Children of the Leashed Flame, or one of the, like, recurring historical organizations that are mentioned in the books. One of the books talking about them also mentioned that they only allowed men as their priests, but they also had rights for women to ceremoniously transition into manhood, thereby allowing them to hold these posts, which at once both trans pride and, I mean, I guess this is also not for, you know, just trans men, but also regular cis women who are then still allowed in these positions because they are ceremonially considered men. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the hours are anti-natalist, which is like, I don't really know what to do with that information, but okay. Okay, that's the manuscript done, so now we can start this process and also work on this for the glimmering then. Sun in Splendor, okay, so that's dealt with. Next we'll need lantern for the door. Okay, notoriety mostly gone. Let's see what Connie has to say about the Sun in Splendor, or the glorious lore. Visions of glory. Are you serious? Seriously, Connie? I thought you were cooler than that. Okay. Well, let's try that again. This time, Wolfward. Wait, are they idealist? God damn it. Okay, so that won't work. Okay, I guess we have to get rid of Connie as well. I guess that's the trade-off. We've had great luck when it comes to the curses, but terrible luck when it comes to the... what's it now? When it comes to trying to recruit hunters. Because I think thus far we failed to sway every single one from their path. Yeah, no, sadly the worms were the only poison I had. So now it's going to be another Spencer Hobson-esque battle of attrition, sending maid after her. Or, if I'm very lucky, I'll find another poison somewhere. But no, I don't think I have any poison thus far. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't tell me I can put a poison in there, therefore there's no way of searching for a poison either. That, and also, because I'm an idiot, this means I now can't hand in the commission, so I'll be balked with my studies for the Port Noon anecdote. At least we're done with this commission. And let's also work on this commission, so we'll have both 2 glimmering and 2 erudition at the ready in the form of commissions. No, none of them have the poison tag. I checked earlier with Zachariah, but no, none of them are poisonous. Not the Witch-Kissed Oil, not the Grain Dawn Oil, not the Lethe, not the Hemolymph, not the Amaranthine Nectar. The Ichor isn't poisonous either. The Chalice isn't poison either. Wolf Snow, not poison. This isn't poison. Lethe, Vital Pigment, no, none of that is poison. Also not poison, not poison, not poison. Not poison, not poison. Yep, no poison here. I mean, the Writhing Claw. Yeah, it would be weird if that was poison. Right, that's currently the dead. And we need one more lantern follower for the door. And then all we'll need are added funds. Okay, so this isn't going to work because I'm an idiot. This was rash. Perhaps I shouldn't have exposed myself, so yeah, that wasn't genius, is at the very least, is what I'll say to that. Okay, that's another Vagabond's map at least. A small consolation, but a consolation nonetheless. Okay, there's the first erudition. And then we study this right away again. And then I think we can also get the glimmering from this. Because, you know, they do have a bit of a shelf life. Not that big, but logistical difficulties. But I think that's the only problem. Everything else is handled. Yeah, we have lantern for the gate and grail for the curse. Let's paint some. Maybe that'll give us some contentment. Call upon the watchman who illuminates. Found this. Ooh, dread. I should probably go through the... Oh, I completely forgot about the something joyful. If I talk to this with Miss Nenya, there's a chance I'll get contentment. So... erudition. I hope I get, wait, I forgot to add funds. Yeah, contentment, nice, okay. So, with a little luck it'll grab the contentment next, which would halt this despair in its tracks. Okay. Now, what do I work on next? Nothing for now, I think. There's that 8. Hidden door, extension continues. Okay, and now... I think I'm going to get another follower betrayed. In case I need to go to the spider's door because of the curse. Okay. Ah, nice. We were in fact lucky and... Right, the red grail. I shouldn't have done this. This means we have less time now to go to the spider's door in case of an emergency. Now well. What can you do? Come on, come on, come on. Whew, okay, lucky yet again. Alright, let's fulfill this commission. Or work on this commission, rather. Okay, despair is going to be gone, and this dread is also about to be gone, so no need to worry there. This no, no, not here. Here, yes. Peacock store. Treasures, yes, please. Aha, and that should be all we need. The city no more. Okay, yeah, once the Maiden Mirror returns, I'll send her to hopefully deal with Connie Lee, though the chances, there's a big great chance that it won't work, so I'm going to be preemptive and summon another maid right away. Oh, wait, was I an idiot earlier? Ah, I think I was. I could have... I think I overlooked the fact that she was an I missed the fact that she was an idealist, which is why I used the completely wrong lore to tempt her. If I'd noticed that, I could have used the wolf word and that might have worked. Yeah, it's kind of just routine now, trying to... hoping desperately to get, that blood. And, like, overall, chances aren't that amazing. So, part of me is kind of considering working on this save a little bit off-screen, off-stream, because, yeah, realistically, it's going to be like a joyless grind now with the True Blood of Saint Januarius, which I don't think is going to be that fun to experience on stream. Which, I don't know, it's really quite annoying that for whatever reason we didn't get it, even though we should have. Okay, speaking of though, nope, but we did get Glassfinger Toxin. Glassfinger Toxin. What is within, without? What is within, without? What is without, within? A poison sacred to the votaires of the Meniscate. Votaires. Okay, so Connie is not busy, so I can't go after her either. These two, you know, don't really... I do have a use for the 𝐸𝐴𝐬𝐸 shortly now. Using it to get rid of the evidence that's no doubt about to be created. So... yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of this cheese. Yeah, let's explore this Port Noon. And then let's do the expedition. That should be the last thing for tonight. Because, yeah, like, unfortunately, I looked at it in the wikis, the, like, possible amount, the like, loot pool of possible things you can get is for all of the repeatable vaults is enormous, and you only get about 2 of those per expedition. I think it was like 20. It's like 20 possible things you can get from each of these generic vaults, and you get 2 of those, so it's basically a 10% chance to get what you need each time, which isn't very great. Yeah, that's though in that case not character gacha, but equipment gacha, which is I mean, true to its reputation, even more soul-crushing. Can we... Okay, I think we'll do one more Port Noon, and then also to at least paint one thing. We'll do the Port Noon, and if the blood of St. Januarius isn't there, then we'll at least eat our own decrepitude, so we've at least painted one aspect today. Okay. Unresolved ambiguity, not really useful. Nor is perfect frost, but I have so many unresolved ambiguities. Getting them right now just isn't worth it anymore. Oh, I should also get a new Port Noon anecdote right away. At least, with the mix of commission work and by doing the commissions we get a pretty reliable, steady supply of both erudition and glimmering, which is very useful for creating these Port Noon anecdotes. Look west to the evening isles where the long still walk. Across a bright far sea, Port Noon lies. Exiles, monsters, and visionaries have long favored the waters around it. Perhaps we shouldn't get too close, but it might be useful to get close enough. Port Noon. There's a choice that every mortal must make. Enter the service of an hour, or return to the mortal ranks, or face extinction. The sunny little island port called Noon is the exile realm of the immortals who refused all those options. Alright, I'm pretty sure there's no curse at Port Noon. If there is, then I'm not gonna bother with it anymore. But I don't think there should be. Into the night. So, yeah, let's get some erudition from this commission. And then, wait, where did the... Ah. And then some glimmering from this one. An expedition to Port Noon. If we can cross the sea to Port Noon, if we can defeat the Long who do not die, if we can breach their private vaults, still we must resist the temptation of visions. God damn it, does that mean there's a curse here as well? Okay. Yep, there's a 5th eye curse here. Great, okay. So that means in the future we're not going to Port Noon anymore. It's not worth it. Okay, so first the sea, which is Forge. Then this, which we can use Moth for, so one more Moth Disciple. Even though all of them are quite wounded, but that's just a risk we'll have to take. Then the door, which we already have the Forge for, and then the Curse, which we already have Winter for. Damn it. Okay, let's try an early night instead then. The erudition goes here. Actually, I'm wondering now, is it even worth it to continue subverting this? Or deepening these? Because actually having 2 Vagabonds maps makes more sense. So, yeah, actually, let's deliberately fail this one. Because, yeah. And let's paint a bit. Hopefully that'll get us some... Actually, let's paint this one. Okay, yeah, we'll fail that one deliberately. What can we speak of? If only we had the 𝐸𝐴LLGAIN at the ready, but... Well, we can at least already prep the maid so that it can pounce on Connie as soon as she is out of this. Sailor's surety. Right, we'll need more moth. Who do we risk? Porter only has 2. Yeah, Porter has the least amount of scars, so let's send him. Or, actually, probably ideal if we only send him until we absolutely need to. Right, balked, but that's by design. Okay, we didn't get contentment out of that, but I did also, to be fair, forget that I needed... Let's put this here. Let's paint about... this, and then this. Right, instead, we'll do this. Connie is ready. I think we'll try for an early night again. We do need contentment. Night. And now I forgot to add Connie in time. That's my mistake. An unstoppable force, but well, it's unstoppable in theory. In reality, it's probably not going to work. Because she is both tenacious and a mystic, so this is going to be another slog. I mean, we could also try the Glassfinger toxin. It's always an option. Very well, a wager. Now we add Porter. News! News from the old country! From all the old countries! The Long are desperate for novelty. We'll take advantage of that, and if all goes well, we'll be gone before they know it. Yeah, probably. If this doesn't work, which it probably won't, I'll try until Connie defeats the maid. Oh, rat, that's not good. If both the maid and Connie survive, I'll try again. If the maid perishes, then I'll try the poison. Oh, well, never mind then. The long deception, the immortal denizens of noon are deceived, or amused, or caught up in the knots of a greater scheme yet. They won't interfere, this time. Now all that leaves is the fifth eye curse. I should ready... What's the best way to preserve this now? I don't think there is, unfortunately. It's just going to stay there. Which is indeed a bit of a problem. So let's paint again. With plenty of passion. And a good dose of... what would be best? Certainly we can't paint about the corpse, though I guess the reason for that is kind of obvious. Why that's not a good idea. And this painting I call a detective I've recently murdered. Okay. Now... yeah, I think it's opium time. Ooh, we're also running very low on funds, I've just noticed. So yeah, we'll have to get selling some spintrier. Yeah, though I think the subject of the painting will still be... I mean, I guess if we abstract it enough, we might fool people, but I don't know. Okay. Oh, that deep grace. But I should not do this again. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now the question, do we use it against this for this dread, or... yeah, no. We ideally should leave the... oh. Never mind, I thought we were already at the curse, but we're still at the door. Okay, we gain contentment from that. And then let's paint yet again. Oh, plenty of notoriety, you know. So, I mean, at the very least, let's preserve this erudition. So at the very least, it'll probably sell. Yeah, I should probably hydrate, but for that I will need to refill my flask. So I will be right back. Alright, here I return. Oh, and I also see I've overlooked a question earlier of Earl of Rats, if they are still here. Yeah, once you get rid of all of the unique hunters, you get the wary detective again. The funny thing is, you can actually also recruit you can also tempt the wary detective from his path. At which point it's revealed that his name is in fact Douglas, and he will then become a forge adept, and if you recruit him, he'll be a shaper. I mean, if you recruit him while he's already along in the making, that is. The funny thing is, even once you've recruited him, you'll still get the wary detective as a hunter again. And I have tried it once to recruit him a second time, but unfortunately that just gets rid of the first one, which sad, but I get it. But it would have been very funny to have two of them. Alright, mood piece. Or grow hungrier. Purpose of doors. Difficulty of logistics. Colors of the night. Yeah, sadly no Dougception. One can only dream. Literally, in this case, I guess. A good day, passion, intensity, oh, and more contentment. Okay, for once the game does smile on us, it seems. So we can afford to go back into the House of the Sun. Call upon the Forge of Days, who will end all nights. Let's add one more funds at least. Oh, I want plenty of contentment, but also some fascination, so... Do I have to worry about that? Not yet, at least. So... let's not worry about it yet. Always better to worry about things when you have to. Actually, no, that's terrible advice. But anyways, I'm just rambling here. Death of a door, finally. Okay, and now I have to be a bit careful. Because now the possibility arises of the curse. So I won't actually get rid of this fascination yet. Expedition continues. Although I still have 60 seconds until I know the result. So yeah, I do actually have just enough time to get rid of this fascination. And then I'll have to prepare myself to yeah, go to the spider's door if things go wrong. Despair finally abating. Nope, that's not right. This one. Glimmering, this glimmering... I don't think it has enough time, sadly. Oh well. So let's get an erudition from this. Okay, we call upon the eulogiist, from whom nothing more can be taken. The eulogiist knows what is already lost. His power will almost certainly protect us. Okay. Into the night. The curse shrivels. Ooh, okay. Maybe the one mod I am going to actually get for this run is, I know there's a workshop mod that turns the chance of a curse from 10% to 0% if you have the maximum amount of protection, which, I mean, that's kind of cheating, but at the same time, I don't know, like, the curses, it's especially frustrating, especially now since we have to really grind to hopefully get that blood. So maybe I might just do that. Let's paint some. Oh, and we'll also have the detective soon enough again. I think. Either that or Januarius Wakefield. I don't know if we've gotten that one yet. I mean, yeah, but like, not just annoying, but like really frustrating in my opinion, because with the amount of expeditions we have to go on now, which all have curses, that's each time a 10% chance to lose a passion or reason permanently. Which, yeah, that's a problem. Okay, wary detective. So either we've gotten Januarius Wakefield already, or it's just or he's just not being pulled this time. Well, speaking of the wary detective though, this gentleman would much rather be left alone with his pipe and his illustrated London news. But no, apparently some conjurer of abominations has to be hunted down like a mad dog, and apparently no one else can find the time. Yeah, because everyone else is dead, I'm afraid. Now let's see if you'll share their fate, or if we can't maybe get you to see things from a different perspective. Because I would like to at least recruit one hunter. Not because we need it or anything, I just like to do it. It's like a flex on the Suppression Bureau. Oh god, we're running dangerously low on funds now. Might actually, honest to god, have to go back to Glover and Glover. Ooh. Okay, Intuition glimmering. All the way from Galicia. This is the secret subcellar of the Hotel Ciervo. The walls are whitewashed, the floor is freshly scrubbed, shelves bulge with oddities. A caged man with wild beard peers morosely at you from the corner. Again? He says. Or are you a different lot? No, I don't need rescuing, thank you. It's much worse out there. Well, guess I can't really argue with that. Grab what you can, quickly, the caged man hisses. They'll be back soon. Only please leave the Gladius. I brought that all the way from Galicia back in the day. There, that shelf's good. Hurry, they're coming. You can escape up the delivery stairs. Okay. Whoa! Oh! We got it! We got it! We actually got it! Oh my god! We got it! It's here! True blood of Saint Januarius! The Thunderskin protected the one they called Januarius against perils from every past. To this day his blood keeps dancing. Remnant. We got it! Oh my god, I'm so happy. I was fully prepared this was gonna have to be like a hour-long slog, which I guess it still kind of was, but not as long as I'd feared it might be. Oh my god, okay. Oh yeah. Your account is too much for the hunter. Their eyes grow wide and bright. Their smile becomes dreamy. In the days to come, they will forsake everything they once knew. And where once there was a weary detective, there is now Douglas, a troublemaker. Douglas isn't having any more of it. Time to see what all the fuss is about. I love that description so much. He's just so done with everything that he just, okay, I've had enough. Let's see what all this nonsense is about. Yeah. Oh my god, okay. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. Now, do we want to finish this tonight? Actually, you know what? Let's paint the true blood of Saint Januarius on the canvas today, and then a final stream tomorrow where we tie up some loose ends and then finish off by feasting on our own decrepitude. Yes. Though, I don't know. Like, for example, now that we've finally tempted a hunter from their path, I would like to recruit him. Not that we need to, but I just like to. And, some other things. I mean, it's possible that there's still, like, other stuff to do also after we've painted all of the thingies here. And if not, then I don't know. Sure, yeah, why not? Might as well. We've pulled through enough. Okay, the Dread handily taking care of this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would also take a long while until Douglas is worth recruiting, because what happens now is he'll slowly ascend by stealing vaults from us, which is why it's good that we only have generic vaults anymore, so it doesn't matter if he steals those. And each time he does, this ticks up, and once it reaches 4, he'll when it's yeah, at 2 it's still a troublemaker. Once it hits 3, it becomes a renegade, and at 4 it becomes a long in the making. And the description troublemaker, renegade, and long in the making also determines what grade of cultist they become when you recruit them. If you recruit longs in the making, they are already exalted, which is extremely useful. Because it allows you to get exalted cultists of principles you otherwise couldn't get. Like, you know, we're a winter cult, but we would be able to get, you know, with Douglas we can get a Forge exalted with 10 Forge. Connie Lee is really good. She has 10 Edge and 7 Grail. Spencer Hobson, I think, has, what was it, 10 Knock, 7 Moth. Like, especially the unique hunters are extremely good if you recruit them. Yeah, that is a fair point. Alright, illumination. One last thing. Okay. And look at that, we have exactly 2 pieces of hunger. Aha! There, is that it? Right, visions of 8, very nice. Now, we could use... No, not really. Yeah, let's just wind all of it down now. No, wait, hold on. We're desperately poor. We need to get some cash pronto. We should also paint some. Both for contentment and money. If we paint the 𝐷𝐸𝐽𝐸, it'll generate notoriety, but that doesn't really matter at this point anymore. Okay, now, the Feast of the Honeyed Dove. Feasting on the true blood of Saint Januarius, bright upon my tongue like copper citrus. Some despair, it's not great. Really nice. Good thing we've fulfilled so many commissions. We have plenty of silver spintry to spare. Oh! Isn't that one we already had? I have a memory now of something that should never have ceased, and perhaps it has not. Yeah, hold on. Isn't this... Where is... We already had the endless memory. So, can we paint with it again? The artist's reward? My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. Okay, let's try this out. Wait, no, we have to wait until this becomes available again. In the meanwhile, we could work on something else, like this commission. Yeah, it'll take exactly the same amount of time as the commission for the passion to become available again, so this is indeed sensible. Okay, so this gave us an endless memory, and I'm pretty sure I already used one of those. If it turns out that after all this time, the true blood of Saint Januarius gives us something we already knew, I might scream. But that also would raise the question, well then, what else is there? Because now we've truly exhausted, like, all the options, basically. Yeah, I mean, but Endless Memory is the one of the wheel, and we've already painted that one. This one. It even had, like, the same, color and shape and everything, and same text as well, I think. So, I don't know. No contentment here, great. But I guess we can now go to the 𝐸𝐽𝐸 Club as much as we like. So let's do that. Into... Oh, great, okay. Well, it's not too big of an issue. Shadowless... I'm not sure. I think I did. I'm almost certain I went to the tomb of the Shadowless Kings already. I mean, I guess I can try that. Alright, so that would be now... Yes. A forgotten color. It might be ugly, but it is beautiful, like the withdrawing of yeah, it's the exact same text as the wheel here. It might be ugly, but it is beautiful, like the withdrawing of blood from the labyrinths of glass. Shit. Okay. I think... Yeah, in that case, I don't think I'm going to paint with this. Instead, I think I'm going to paint esoteric art. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair. Part of me does also want to figure out, find out if there's any unique text if I speak to it with Miss Nenya, but that doesn't give me anything useful anyways, only what's it, an influence. Okay, so, an overlooked place, streets strange by moonlight, where I may... With each turn, its cilia pulse and wriggle, and its body flushes translucent to crimson. It might be ugly, but it is beautiful, like the withdrawing of blood from the labyrinths of glass. It does not cease, and all its involutions are infinite. The wheel. Yeah, it kind of makes sense also, because the wheel is also the memory we got from the holiest 𝐸𝐚𝐴. So it would make sense that the two ingredients that count as remnants would give us the same memory. Oh. Another dread, great. Okay, guess it's time for... Maybe it's not time for opium, actually. Okay. Ugh. Come on. Okay, so... we should get this handled... Oh god, okay. Yeah, no, opium time it is then. And, yeah, the Dice Club is goddamn useless. So let's explore this. Yeah, that should then at least pull the contentment, if nothing else. Yeah, nothing happened. With each turn, its cilia pulse and wriggle, and its body flushes translucent to crimson. It might be ugly, but it is beautiful, like the withdrawing of blood from the labyrinths of glass. It does not cease, and all its involutions are infinite. The wheel. Oh, that's frustrating, knowing that all of that was basically for nothing. Okay, but we soldier on. At least we get some twists and interludes. And maybe this will get us, no, glimmering, but, well, that's better than nothing. Opium. Okay, we can use one of these contentments to... Yep, we'll go to the tomb of the Shadowless Kings. Though, I wonder who we'll have to bring for that. It might be wise to summon another 𝐸𝐴𝐬. So... But, I mean, I guess I can send the expedition already. We must penetrate the mountains, pass the guardians, and brave the curse the Shadowless Kings... Oh god, another curse. Okay, perhaps then we will find treasures. Okay, so we'll send one Heart Follower, one Forge, Yeah. And then I think we'll send a maid or something. Well, we'll see. Or just an absolute heap of ordinary cultists. That's also always an option. Okay, so we have mountain passes, watchers, door, and a goddamn curse. So forge will sustain us, winter will shield us. This is heart or grail. These are watchers. Then actually, the best thing to summon here then I think would be a 𝐸𝐚𝐸 actually. And we have... am I gonna risk? No, I don't have to actually. So, if I offer some lantern, heaping a forge, this... No wait, that was King Crucible, not 𝐸𝐸𝐸. Sudden onset dementia. Yeah, there we go. 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. Okay, there's that. So first we'll need more forge to get us through there. Mountaineers Road, right, and we'll already start adding lantern followers. We'll need them soon enough. Yeah, right, he does look, he does look a bit like a Cenobite from, oh, Hellraiser was the movie. Which makes sense, because Grail is all about torment and pleasure, so... It's nothing if not on brand. Ah, damn it, I could have converted that restlessness to a fleeting reminiscence with Miss Nenya. Too late now, I guess. Too late now. Do high passes. Okay. Obstacle. Rebellious spirit. You know what? I'm just gonna contend for mastery now. If it eats someone, it eats someone. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Though, I guess, wouldn't really... Oh, right. To scare it away. Yeah, yeah, maybe... maybe he's still... Maybe that's why he's rebelling. He's still afraid that Spencer's here. Right, do we... Yeah, okay, an early night should be enough. 3 high passes. The expedition continues. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, well, one of my health cards. I'll live, technically. Although, is this going to destroy it or convert it to decrepitude? Or just a wound? I don't know. Another thing we're about to find out, I guess. Can we try and summon 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 again while it's also breaching? Yeah, okay, it says I need more power, but the real reason is because 𝐸𝐚𝐸 is currently eating me, so tough luck summoning him. Okay, now the question. Actually, yeah, no, I can't add Slee now, I need to add 𝐸𝐚𝐴𝐺𝐸. And Rose. Our strength is matchless. We're also getting quite hungry, but if it gets really desperate, we can just eat more 𝐸𝐚𝐴𝐺𝐸 again. I mean, we won't get a new memory, but at least, oh. That'll just give us an injury. Yeah, okay, that's certainly... There are certainly worse outcomes, let me put it like that. Yep, it's actually a good question. Why can't we just, like, eat, like, a steak or something? That's also dead flesh, right? Like, just, bury, like, a steak. Maybe it has to be decaying flesh, but then you could just bury some, like a cut of steak or something else in the ground and let it rot a little bit and then eat it. It's gross, but it seems like it would be a whole lot easier than, you know, the alternative. We'll add some funds to that. We'll heal that. Watcher's End. So now we'll need... more lantern. And more funds, great. Okay, this is gonna be a bit confusing. Okay, no contentment from that, and 𝐸𝐚𝐸, of course, is still sulking. Big weenie. Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's very much that, except, you know, it's missing the sunglasses. Yeah. I mean, the second one we can just... so for that purpose, I'm gonna go summon a maid. The edge, a need here, and the wolf word. Wolf word. Okay, come on, come on. This mission continues. I'll need to add... yeah, another lantern follower now to illuminate the hidden door. Ooh. I could also read something, but there's really not a point anymore. Main thing is hoping that this will go well. Way through the door. Wonderful. Okay. So here's the maid. There's the detective. Now get to work. And now we'll need to hastily add one more funds and then one more heart. Right. Okay. We could paint some more to hopefully get some contentment. Yeah, that would be unfortunate. Though, I mean, we could also always, you know, turn the other Doug into that Doug then, if you get what I mean. not make a portrait of a renegade? No, it has to be an acquaintance. Or, so we also can't make portraits of patrons. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's quite possible, yes. Oh, God. Ugh. Well, wonderful. I think my body has just given me a signal for to call it for tonight. Yes, it seems I blame 𝐸𝐚𝐥𝐸. It seems the 𝐷𝐸𝐿 has invoked the blood in my own body now. Quite enthusiastically, actually. So, yeah, I think I think that's pretty much that. Oh god. Ugh. Oh god, all over my brand new white, stark white pants that I bought less than a week ago. That's lovely. Just fantastic. Oh well. Okay. Now the worst is under control, but yeah, I think that's a... I think this is a sign from a higher power, or or perhaps just maybe my own body that enough is enough. So who am I to disagree? In that case, let me wind down for tonight. Sadly, I don't think there's anyone right now that I know at least that we could raid. So yes, in this case, let us simply end it normally. So it has once again been my pleasure to be your host. Book DLC for, I assume you mean Book of Hours? I don't actually know what the DLC there are. I haven't looked at it yet. But yeah, probably. So, in any case, it has been my pleasure to be your host. Feel free, if you wish, to perform those rites of appeasement for the gods of the algorithm. And until next time, have a nice night and safe travels.